Hi guys, it's Mrs. Englade, and I thought I would do a video on how to do tonight's homework on practice worksheet 5-4. I know my on-level kids kind of gotten shorted on their lesson because we had the fire drill today. So I'm going to start with number 2, 5 7/4. They would like to know what that is equal to 6 and something out of 4. Well, hopefully you noticed that this 7/4 is an improper fraction. So we could rewrite 7/4 as 1 3/4. And so if I add that amount to my 5 wholes, I get 6 3/4. So what they're looking for that question mark is the number 3. That numerator is 3, so 6 3/4. Okay. Number 4, if we were going to add 4 3/10 plus 5 2/5, we would want to make a common denominator. So we think about multiples of 10 and multiples of 5, and we know that 10 would be our smallest common multiple, or in this case, our smallest common denominator. So 3/10 would stay 3/10. And 2/5 would be renamed as 4/10 because it would be the second equivalent fraction to 2/5, so 4/10. So then we would go ahead and add our fractions. We could add our whole numbers first if you want to. We're going to end up, combining them together anyway. So 3/10 and 4/10 make 7/10, and 4 plus 5 wholes is 9. So you look at your answer. Can that be written in any simpler form? And the answer is no. 9 7/10 is the simplest form that it can be written in. Go on to number 6. If I look at my denominators of 3 and 4, I have to think about the smallest multiple that is common between them, and it ends up being 12. Notice how I have rewritten these problems too to be vertical. The reason I do that is because there's more room for me to do some work out to the side. So if you feel more comfortable doing the work on the back of that worksheet, by all means do that. Now we have to rewrite these to be another name for 12ths. Instead of 2/3, we want it as 12ths. Well, we can see that we want the 4th equivalent fraction, right? Because 3 times 4 is 12, so we have to also do the numerator, and so that gives me 8/12. Another name for 1/4 is 12ths is it's the 3rd equivalent fraction of 1/4, and so that's going to be 3/12. So now we can go ahead and add 8/12 plus 3/12 is 11/12. And we can add my whole numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. So your answer is 8 and 11/12 there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. If I take a look at my denominators of 12 and 6, I see that my least common denominator can be 12. And so 1/12 stays 1/12. But 1/6 renamed, my second equivalent fraction to 1/6 is 2/12. And so now I can go ahead and add 1/12 plus 2/12 is 3/12. 1 whole plus 3 wholes is 4 wholes. We're not going to want to leave it as 3/12 though, because we know that there is a simpler name. When I divide each of these by 3, I can get a simpler name of 1/4. So my final answer is 4 1/4. Let's go ahead and do number 10. My common denominator between 3rds and 12ths is going to be, again, it's going to be 12. I need to find the equivalent fraction for 1/3, and I find that it is the 4th equivalent fraction, so I need to find my numerator, which is 4. This is going to stay 11/12. And so now look what happens. When I add 4/12 plus 11/12, I get 15/12. 7 wholes plus 5 wholes is 12 wholes. Now I'm back to this kind of a situation up here as in number 2. That's why you did those problems. You're going to have to change this 15/12. So another name for 15/12 is 1 3/12. And so now I can combine those together to give me 13 3/12. There's still something wrong with this answer. 13 3/12, just like this 3/12 over here. This can be said in a simpler way by simplifying it by 3 to give me 13 1/4. Again, the same reason is we simplified just like we did over here in number 8. So 13 1/4. So those are the answers for the first 5 problems. So hopefully using that information, you can do the remainder of the problems that you have left to do. Okay? Thank you so much.